Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello if you're new here. I'm so glad that you've joined. It's time for a bookshelf tour. So obviously if you are new here or if you've missed it, then I just recently moved and this is my new home library, which I still can't get over it. I think this has been done for about a week and a half now and I still come in here and I'm just like, this is mine. This is mine. Like I literally can't believe it. As promised, I thought I would do an updated bookshelf tour for you guys because I think the last time I did a bookshelf tour was right when I started my channel, which was at the beginning of last year. It was so long ago. I'll insert a photo here of what my shelves looked like then. Obviously I still had loads of books and they were still really pretty and I loved them at the time. This is the level up that we've always wanted to see. Also since then, since that bookshelf tour, I've gained a lot of books, I've got rid of a lot of books, reading tastes have changed, etc, etc. So this is going to be a really big update and I can't wait to get into it with you guys. I just want to put a disclaimer out there as well and say that this is not really, like, this isn't the finished product. I would say it's 80% where I want it to be at. You know, it's just been such a busy time, like moving into a new home anyway, and this is as good as it's going to get for the next couple of weeks, if not couple of months. There are a couple of changes I want to do. There's a couple of shelves that I'm not in love with, which are down here. We'll get to all of that when I get to the tour. But for now, this is my baby. And I'm going to talk you guys through all of my books. And there is some kind of method to the madness in here. I did want it to be by genre, by author, and sort of like try and keep things grouped together. So I have managed to do that pretty well. The craziest part is that this isn't even all of my books on these shelves. So behind the camera, but off camera where you can't see, there are not loads and loads of books, but there are some more books that I just haven't got they haven't got a home as of yet, and it just requires way too much reshuffling for me to put them into their home. So they will go in there, and what I think I will do is, like, when I'm updating you guys, because obviously the reading room, library room isn't complete yet anyway. If you missed my last videos where I built this room or just the house moving vlog in general, which I will link down below, I did say in those videos that this is going to become like an actual reading room. At the minute, it's literally just my home workspace, which is behind the camera, and these books, but I need to get like a reading chair and a rug and a lat and just like make it really super cozy and decorate the room. So when I get round to that and I can do a finished like book room tour for you guys, any changes to the bookshelves, I will of course update you then, but this is where we are at for now. And I am still really happy with it. Like, if it didn't change, it would be fine. It's just more that there are a couple of things that just don't have a home yet. Like, I've literally got 2 Penelope Douglas books on the floor there, and I'm just like, they need to go on my shelves, but I haven't also read them yet, so I'm also not overly fussed that they're not on the shelves yet, because I don't know, who knows, I might not like. But anyway, so let's get into the bookshelf tour. So a little bit about the bookshelves, because I know I'll probably get questions, is they are the IKEA Billy bookshelves. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 shelves in this room. I've got 3 of the big ones, 2 of the smaller ones, and I used one of the smaller ones to create a corner, so this kind of like sweeps around the corner of the room, which was always my plan. It was always something that I pictured doing when we bought this house before we moved in. Like, that was the plan to do with the room, and it's turned out amazingly. So they are the IKEA ones, and they are, I can't quite remember the name, I think it's called the Oak Effect, but it's basically the lightest oak that you can get. So you can get them in 4 colours: white, this oak, you can get a darker, like almost leaning more mahogany, and then black. I went for this one and I am so glad that I did. I didn't want white. It was kind of between this and the darker oak, but this is actually a north-facing bedroom. It does get quite a lot of light. It's not as dark as I thought it was going to be, but it is like a little bit darker than the rest of the room, so I didn't want anything, like the darker oak to me was maybe just a little bit too dark and moody. So I went with the light oak. I love it. I just feel like the room is so warm, it's so cozy, and I just adore it. And also going with the oak meant that the room didn't necessarily, like the actual walls didn't have to be decorated. I thought if I went with white, I'd probably have to paint the walls some kind of colour, because our walls in all the house at the minute are white, and I don't mind not painting this room because it's going to be decorated, and obviously these shelves take up, well, literally not quite half the room, but almost half of the room. So I thought if I have like Oak Effect shelves, then it means I wouldn't need to paint the walls, because these in themselves are kind of like decorative. Does that make sense? So yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this bookshelf tour. I'll show you guys how the books look all together, and then I'll get into shelf by shelf. So we've got these bookshelves here, and obviously they go all the way down to the bottom. And then as you come round to the corner, we've got these ones. And then we've got these ones. And then we've got my TBR cart, which is kind of a bit of, I don't even know what's going on in the TBR cart at the moment, but this is basically the room and I'm completely in love with it. What I also love is that there is space for potentially more bookshelves in the future. Like I could also fit in a smaller one there. Okay, so in terms of genre, this shelf here is the one that if you did watch my bookshelf vlog, you'll know that I didn't start with 5 shelves. I had 4. Me and Charlie went to IKEA very late on a weekday night to get to this shelf. So because of that, it is a little bit of a mismatch of genres, but we've got mainly contemporary, honestly, super randomly. I've just got like a mild, like a tiny monster romance section. I didn't even know I had monster romance really, but there is a couple, I mean, when I say monster, I've got like 5 or 6 of them, but they've kind of gone up here alongside some of the special editions, which I will obviously show you up close in a moment. And then I've got some contemporary romances and a lot of Kate Stewart stuff, going down to like more contemporary / sports / small town. So it is kind of neat, but it's kind of still a bit random. This whole entire bookshelf here is all dark romance. Is it all? Yeah, it is literally all dark romance. I wanted to try and keep that all together. And then in this middle section here, this is also dark romance plus like some random bits of special editions, which I really wanted to have displayed. The original plan was to have these to be only special editions, but I have since decided to go onto the top shelf with some other ones, so I didn't have to like take up that whole space. I do really love how these parts, like how these shelves are looking. But yeah, this is also dark romance. This whole bookshelf here is fantasy up to this shelf. But then the fantasy extends over to this last bookshelf here. Also got some more fantasy down here, also more dark romance, but they're more like mafia romance, like dark academia romances. The last 2 shelves down here are contemporary romances and sports romances, and they're just kind of a bit of a mixed match right now, but I will figure them out. I'll figure them out as we go along. And then just on the top row as well, before we get into the close-ups of the shelves, these are all my special editions up here. So we've got the Tattered Curtain series going into the Royal Elite series. We've got the Magnolia Park series, 2 books from my Mystic Books box subscription, and then 2 hardcovers from the House of Devils series from Kayla Edwards. I've got the other one on a shelf further below. You would have seen me, if you watched my recent book haul, you would have seen me haul those. It's a little bit messy up here right now just because I do need to sort them out. I just haven't got around to it. So getting into the top shelf, I've got some hardbacks of some fantasy books going into Sarah J Maas, and then don't even ask me what those 2 books are doing on top there. They just didn't have a home, they ended up there, and they're going to probably stay there for the foreseeable. Moving down, we've got some more fantasy series, so I've tried to keep them in series together by author together. And then these are all my fantasy books. This is A Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, but I just had it facing outwards because I think those edges are so beautiful. And then these are the special editions to this series by Alexis Menard, which is House of Bane and Blood. It's like a mafia dark romance series, like mafia meets fantasy. And I'm so excited to read it. Moving down, I've got some more fantasies. So we've got a couple more of the hardbacks. These are newer. So a lot of the books on this shelf came from my book haul, which if you watched it and you're probably wondering, Poppy, where on earth are you going to fit all of those? I fit all these books on. So again, just all fantasies. Most of this bookshelf is unread aside from like One Dark Window and Broken Bonds. So I was really close to unhauling Broken Bonds, but I think I'm going to give it another go. I DNF'd it about 2 years ago, but I'm definitely going to give it another go. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into a lot of these. And then that is the other book from the House of Devils series, the hardback special edition. And I just really liked how it looked there. I could probably not have it there and have it on top and fit more books on, but I really like how it looks there for the moment. Then down here, so these books do not match the rest of this shelf, but they'll do for now. But these are all of my Saffron Kent books. And then we've got some Emily McIntyre books there as well. And then we've got some fantasies, which kind of leaning like dark academia, just kind of a little bit matchy, but not really. But obviously these are V. Schwab books, Leigh Bardugo. And then this is a special edition of Metal Slinger, but I've just got it facing out the other way. Then coming onto this shelf, I've got all of my Magnolia Parks and Jessa Hastings books. And then this is where it gets random. So these 2 shelves are not my favourite right now. I will figure out what to do with them. But I put all of my LJ Shen and Parker S. Huntington books together, aside from one LJ Shen book, which has found its way over onto the Rockstar Romance section, which I will get into in a moment. And then we've got the Windy City series because that was the only place it fit at the time. But I do kind of want a sports romance section. The only thing is I don't love sports romance, but I love this series. So I wanted them here, but I'm just not 100% sure what to do with them. And then down in this section, we've got the Addicted series, which I still haven't read yet, guys. I can't believe it. And then all of my Sophie Lark books are down here as well. And I really actually like how that bottom shelf looks, so I don't really want to touch that. Moving on to up here. So this is a special edition or Waterstones edition of the Powerless trilogy. This is Reckless, I think, but I loved the character art on that. And then this is an ARC copy I got of Fourth Wing, and I absolutely adore it, so I thought I'd have it out that way. And then we've got a lot of my other hardbacks and the like Crescent City and things like that. I think this is the Fairy Loot edition of When the Moon Hatched, so I've got that next to that. That was on my TBR for this month. Not sure if I'm going to get around to reading it now. I underestimated how busy I would be moving house. And then we've got some more fantasies. So these are more like dark fantasies. Aside from Diabound, why is this upside down? This is the Waterstones edition of Diabound. I love it. And then I've got all of my other dark fantasies along here, which again, can't wait to get into some of these. I'm so excited. I'm really just in my fantasy era right now. And then this is the Zodiac Academy shelf. So that's where we're at right now. So we've got Zodiac Academy, and then we've got Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. And then this was an arc that I got sent of Never Keep. I think Echo 4 is actually out now, which is the second book in that series. And there is also the Wolf series, like Alpha Wolf or something. I don't have those books. Do need to get those though. Moving down. So these books here, all of these are books that I got from my Mystic Box subscription. Don't know if the Lilith Vincent ones are Mafia Romance, but this is kind of like my Mafia Romance section. So I absolutely adore these so much. Even the naked hardbacks of those are so nice. And then this is the, if anyone's heard of this, this is by Adelaide Forrest. And then this is some Tate James books, and then obviously all my Mafia Romance books, leaning into sort of like more dark academia with Kerry Lake. And these are some Kerry Lake special editions of Nocticadia and Master of Salt and Bones as well, which I adore. And these are from Fake Crate, I believe. But if you guys do want like a special edition sort of like lowdown, because I've bought from so many companies, then let me know, because I'd be more than happy to do that. And moving down to more dark romance, so we've got the Ruinous Love trilogy by Bryn Weaver, House of Hollow, which I read at Spooky Time last year, really liked it. The Invocations is going to be on my TBR for that time this year. So I've got my Monty J special editions here. This is from Twisted Fiction Book Box, and they are, to be fair, The Lies We Steal is not really my favourite book, but I adore, like, it's one of my favourite editions of it. The Blood We Crave, as you know, one, like a 6-star read for me. I absolutely love it. And then obviously I've got the other ones here, so like I think that's the Truths We Burn, but I just had those face out like that. Then down here, these are also more Mystic Box subscriptions. So these literally, I cannot believe how good this subscription box is. I love it. The Sinners Anonymous series is one of my favourite Mafia romances. And then these are also some San Mariano special editions. And they are just absolutely incredible. I love them. Moving down, I've got my Penelope Douglas shelf. So this is a special edition of Credence. And that one is from After Dark Bookshop, I think. And then obviously I've just put the Devil's Night series next to it because these are my favourite books of hers ever. And then down here, I've got some more dark romances, but this is where it gets into like dark romance. So we've got the Lord series by Chantal Tessier, and then also have got the Frozen Fate series by Pam Godwin. And then just some really, like this Red Rabbit is meant to be super dark. I'm saving some of these books that you'll see on here for a reading vlog for that. More dark romances. The Mindfuck series just kind of just lives there for the time being. And then down the bottom here, also just some more dark romances. So these are like dark hockey romances. The Pucking Wrong series by C.R. Jane. I don't know why I haven't picked that back up for ages, because I actually really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 4.5 stars. And then these are supposed to be like super dark romances. The Pawn and the Puppet. Now these Lily Gold books aren't dark romance, but they kind of just fit the vibe for here for right now. And then moving on to this section. So these are my special editions of the Monsters and Muses series by Savile Miller. These were the indie published ones. They are now traditionally published, but I do believe they have the same covers. And then these are just 2 more books from that series, but these are my favourite couples and my favourite artwork of it as well. I really wanted these displayed out. Not a good use of space, but I could not, and these are my favourites. Oh my god, honestly, Lenny and Jonas, I love them so much. Oaths and Omissions, that book is. It's one of my favourite reads ever. Moving on to this shelf, so we've got my normal editions of the Hollow Boys, also got some sort of like other special editions but paperback version of some of those books. This is The Blood We Crave, and then I actually have a special edition of Wrath of an Exile, and I don't actually have the normal version because it was sent to me as an ARC, so I read it on my Kindle and still don't have the normal one, so I need to get my hands on that. Some Penelope Douglas books, and then my favourite Lee Rivers. So we've got all her books here that I have, and then we're just going into some more dark romance. These are also some Losers special editions. I absolutely love these. And then moving on to here, so these are more dark romances. So I've got all of my Amo Jones books, Sheridan Ann books, and then these are sort of like spooky, spicy circus books that also, so are these, like the In Silence We Scream, what's it called? Midnight Mayhem, that series. I really can't wait to read that. Got some Sam Mariano books, and then these Sarah Kate books aren't necessarily like a dark romance like these are, but I just thought the books fit the vibe of this shelf. Got some Paisley Hope books, and then some Gianna Darling books, and then Dark Notes, and then I've also got a Dark Notes special edition here, which I absolutely adore. So that's just squeezed in on the edge. And down here, I've got all of my J.T. Geisinger books, and I could actually squeeze some more, which means I could buy another book. But anyway, and then we've got all of the Rena Kemp books here. And then this is a special edition of the Monster Trilogy, which I'm in 2 minds as to whether I'm going to keep it. It's from the After Dark bookshop. But honestly, as much as it's pretty, I really wish it had character art in it, and it doesn't. And I don't know if I love it enough to keep it, but we'll see. I did really enjoy that series though. So yeah, this is my Rena Kent section. And then down here, I'm sorry if you can see Coda, he absolutely adores this room. It's his favourite room in the house. So we've got all of my BB Reid books. This is a series by her that I don't see many people talk about, and I'm really excited to read it. It is a dark romance series. And then this also is one of the shelves that really needs sorting out because it's a whole mismatch of God knows what. Like literally we've got the fake mate in here. What is going on? Obviously I've got some Sarah Kate books. This Entangled trilogy by R. Phillips is meant to be very similar to the Ravenhood trilogy. I read Entangled about 2 years ago, but I am going to reread it before I finish the series because it's meant to be very similar. And then let me just move that over here. These are some special editions of H.D. Carlton books that I absolutely adore. I actually need to put these up the top, but they're just here for now, but they will be moving. And then the Does It Hurt one is probably one of my favourites. It is, oh my god, it's amazing. And that is the hardback of it. It is in German though, I'm going to be honest, but for a book that pretty, it's okay. So I have got all my H.D. Carlton books here. This is obviously the other book by H.D. Carlton. That is the artwork for that one. I think they're amazing. And then this was a Where's Molly special edition that I was lucky enough to be sent, and it's beautiful. And yeah, they're all my H.D. Carlton books. And then down here we've just got more dark romances. This is also dark cocky romance. I'm not sure about that series. I DNF'd Brutal Obsession, but we'll see if we come back to it. And then yeah, just got some miscellaneous dark romance. You are ever so slightly in the way. Are you going to stay there? Okay. On to the last shelf. This is one of the most random shelves because these are special editions of the Witsex series by Ashley M. Rostek. Fun fact, I read the first 3 books of that series and never finished the last one. So, and that was about 2 years ago now. And then these are also special editions of Her Soul to Keep. So you know Opal Rain? These are like monster romances. Got these special editions. I was actually really kindly sent those by Faye Crate. Just got some dark fantasy and then my hardbacks of some K.M. Moronova books because I need to show you these. I absolutely love them. The artwork that she does is phenomenal. So all of her hardbacks are like that, but like I say, if you do want a special edition in-depth sort of like tour, let me know because I can get into all of these for you and show you everything. Then this is my K.M. Moronova shelf, so that again is one of the Fabric of Our Souls hardback editions. I also have one of the normal editions. And then I also have the artwork edition. I just love her books so much. This is her dark fantasy series. People need to talk about this more. It's amazing. And then here is my sort of rockstar romance, because these are some Jennifer Hartman rockstar romances, but then I've also got Kate Stewart in here. And this is what I meant when I said that LJ Shen book kind of made its way into here. Moving down, we've got cowboy romance slash small town romantic suspense. Now it's really, oh sorry Coda, sorry. It's really bothering me that I cannot fit this book in with those like that. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with this shelf, but we'll figure it out. And then down here, I've got more sports romances, and this again, also bothering me that I can't just fit that in with the other ones, but yeah. And then down here, these are a mixture of, Coda, your button is in the way. These are all a mixture of Fairy Loot special editions and Waterstone special editions, and they're all basically fantasy books. And I have not read any of them, although this one here is actually Starling House. It is an Owl Crate edition, this one. And this is actually on my TBR for like spooky season. So, isn't it, Coda? Yes. Oh my god, so I actually think that that is everything. The only thing just to get into is what's on the top. So these are the Tatter Curtain series special editions. These are my Royal Elite series special editions. They have reversible dust jackets, and the reversible dust jacket is the most amazing artwork for the characters, and just the artwork in these books in general is absolutely insane. I think I might have to have them that way around. I can't decide, but they're amazing, and obviously they have all the different characters. So I do think maybe I will get into a special edition sort of video for you guys, because I do have quite a lot and I'm pretty proud of them. Then these are the Magnolia Parks hardbacks, more Mystic Box subscriptions, and then obviously the other books in the House of Devils series, book 2 and book 3. And then I do have my TBR cart here. This is mainly rom-com or contemporary romance, and kind of like romances that I read a long time ago. And then I've also got thrillers on it at the back, all my Ali Hazelwood books and my Crossfire series, and just kind of all those books that I love. They're kind of like nostalgic to me, but I also just don't reach for a lot. They're all on my TBR cart right now. As you can see, there's a lot that needs sourcing out, and just things like this, like my Gianna Darling book, The Moon and Its Tides. I need to put that with my Gianna Darling book. So a little bit more to do, a little bit to go until it's like complete perfection, but good enough for me for now. But I'm not going to get into the TBR cart just because it's so heavy to move around. I took the wheels off it stupidly. So I'm not going to get like into it fully, but they are kind of books that aren't really my cup of tea anymore. Apart from the Crossfire series, I'll reread that for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm not going to get into it too much because it's like Anna Huang books, which I love. I don't want to get rid of them because I think they're really nostalgic, but I don't know. I will reread Twisted Lies, definitely. It's my favourite, but yeah, it's those kind of books. Oh my god, that was such an arm workout, like holding that camera. I hope that's going to come out okay. It was the only way I could think to show you guys everything, where you could actually see all the books up close. It's so hard filming bookshelf tours. I actually remember this struggle when I did my first ever one. But there we go. That is my bookshelf tour. That's all. It's not even all the books. That's the worst part. It's not even all of the books. It's most of the books that I own, and I'm sure that this will expand still. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you do want that video where I show you guys all of my special editions and where I got them from, what book boxes I think are worth the money, which ones maybe I don't, if I was slightly disappointed with them, because special editions are not cheap, especially when it comes to like adding shipping on top. And I've learned a lot along the way from buying from so many different companies as to who's worth it and who isn't, because also some companies you won't receive your books for like a year. I'm waiting on the Ravenhood trilogy right now, and I'm sure I ordered it back in either January or February, and we are now in September, and I've heard nothing about the shipping. So if you do want the lowdown on special edition book companies, all that stuff, and me showing you what quality I think is amazing, which ones maybe you should steer clear of, I'll be more than happy to film that. So let me know if you'd like me to get into it. Don't forget, if you have missed it, to catch up on building this room and my moving vlog. It's been a very hectic month. I'm literally now about to sit down and film my spooky season book rec. So I don't know whether you'll see that video before this one or after this one, but either way, Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!